fig trees, can you grow them in winter? That's what I was wondering. And I was super hesitant to put my fig trees in the ground because I know most people in this type of climate, I'm in Ohio, zone 6B, cannot put their fig trees in the ground without some type of protection and without taking into consideration the variety of the fig tree. I have behind me in the ground a couple fig trees planted. There's one right here, obviously in a pretty cold climate underneath the snow, and there's another one right here. These fig trees are nothing special. They're just a variety that I took from cuttings in California. They were adapted to grow in Southern California climate. One of the main reasons I was hesitant to plant fig trees is because I know you typically can't do that in my climate without doing something like wrapping them up in a tarp, taking all these branches and wrapping those up and covering the ground with a really thick mulch and a tarp, and it just seemed like a lot of extra work and I wasn't sure if I wanted to be doing that. But instead of doing all those things, I wanted to just do an experiment, put them in the ground and see how they would do. Not being any special variety like a Chicago hardy fig tree, these are an unknown variety, but again, adapted to grow in the warm winters of Southern California. And this fig tree, it may look like it's not doing that great, it may look dead, but it's actually just dormant. I already scraped off, they don't bite that. I already scraped off a little bit of bark here and revealed some green on the tree to confirm that it is indeed alive. Your average variety of fig tree typically will only survive down to about 15 degrees. Here in Ohio, it's currently 10 degrees and it's gotten down to 0 degrees, probably almost into the negative degrees Fahrenheit. And my average variety fig trees have survived okay so far. And a couple reasons why I think it's going okay is I did indeed put a thick mulch down underneath this snow of leaves and grass clippings and some other things as well. And I think the snow on top of the mulch is being a really good protective layer for the cold in winter here. Another reason why I think they're doing pretty well is I planted them against this brick wall, which in the winter when the sun hits the wall, it can actually bank a little bit of extra heat and give off that heat during the day and into the night. So the area where they're planted is actually being warmed a little bit by the brick wall of the house here. And one other reason I think was the planting time. If you were to plant your fig trees in the fall, that might not give them as much time to spread out their roots and also have those roots go deep down into the ground. I planted mine in the spring and I think that gave them plenty of time to establish really good thick root systems that were also deep. The importance there being that they're deep. I did some experiments in the last couple days where I dug into my ground, into the soil here in my garden, and I discovered that the ground is frozen solid down to about 4 or 5 inches or so. But I did see with plants like garlic and a few others that are still growing in my garden that the root systems have actually grown down below that frozen solid ground, meaning that they can survive just fine here in the winter because those are cold hardy crops. And with my figs overwintering on that back brick wall right there, I think one of the big things was planting in spring so those roots could grow down to below 5 to 6 inches or so. And even if the top portion of the roots die off on those fig trees, if I can have a majority of the roots that survive under there, I think they're going to do okay and will revive in spring and have a lot of new budding and leaves and green growth. Figs have a very aggressive root system. It's very fibrous and they take off like crazy. They're actually one of the easiest trees to grow if you're looking to try and start something from a cutting. And again, I didn't do anything special for these fig trees. I just put them in the ground and let them do their thing in the early spring, have plenty of time to develop that root system. And so far, I'm pretty pleased with this experiment, confirming on all my trees that they are still alive here in the middle of winter in temperatures colder than what they're really supposed to survive down to. I will do an update later on if it does get colder and we have more sustained colder temps and show how they're doing. And then in the spring, I'll also confirm if they indeed do live through the entire cold winter and if they have brand new green, beautiful growth there. Fiende thanks you for watching this video.